So I love this because we really do need to shift the narrative from it's not just about getting in new logos, right? It's all not just about growing the pipeline. I think it was Forrester too. They said for B2B organizations, 73% of our new annual revenue need to come from existing customers. 73%. So if we're looking at, and we're looking at it kind of from a C-suite perspective, right? And how are we creating long-term sustainable growth in our business? We're focusing on things like NRR. We're talking about making sure that we have high customer loyalty, low churn rates, and that takes an absolute focus on the existing customer, not just from one department, but from the company, right? And I'll tell you, I had a conversation, this is like a couple of months ago, and it was a chief customer officer that was on the podcast. And his customer he was talking to, which was a CISO, a chief information security officer. And that gentleman had just gone through an evaluation of 14 different companies to hire that were a part of the tech stack that he was building out. And he said they all answered the RFP. They all said they checked every single box. It was a complete sea of sameness, right? He said, here's what I wanted to know. And it goes exactly to what you're saying. I just want to know what it's like working with you. What's the experience going to be like working with you after I hire you? That's the number one thing you want to know.
Absolutely. And that's the number one question that we hear from our clients as well, right? And that's a huge differentiator that we talk about, which is how to make sure that there's value added over and above the product that we are selling. So quite often we sit across the table and the sales pitch is made. And the first thing the customer will come back with is all of that is good, all of that is fine. But I've heard the pitch before. I've heard other companies say the same thing. Where are you guys different? What are you really bringing that's different to the table over and above that? And here's where something honesty comes in, which is where if you can say on the table that, yeah, maybe your product is similar. There's a little bit here and there that they don't do that we do. But at the end of the day, it's my team that makes all the difference. My team will show up when you need it. My team will take what it does to get the job done. And if you as a person can mean it, if you as a company can mean it, if you as a product can deliver that, then it's absolutely, the deal is done. Authentically, if you're able to say that and stand up to it, that's a great position to be in.
The story that you just painted for me in my head, I was like, they just want to think that they want to know, like, you're invested in us, right? It's not you made the sale, so now we're going to get regulated to a different team and it's going to be handed off and hopefully it all works, right? They want to know that you're there with them step by step. That's the feeling that I got that from what you're saying there. And you mentioned another word.
People want to be heard. Customers want to be heard. They want us to not be another checklist. So I think customers want you the way you want to be part of the narrative. Customers also need them to be part of your narrative. Right? It's a narrative that you build together and jointly build success. I think that is something that a lot of companies are not focusing enough on. And that story that is jointly built is a very, very important growth engine for companies. In fact, the day after we spoke, there was a report in McKinsey's which came out that said that the cost of retaining a customer costs 1/3 less than acquiring a new one. So you can save 66.6% resources upfront in just making sure your customer succeeds.